What's up, guys? Matt here with Matco Metalworks, and turn around. They don't want to see your butt. Turn around. Come here. Sit. Good boy. And Scout is here with us today. He's one spoiled little puppy. Anyway, we haven't done a video in a while, so I want to just kind of do a day in the life of, I guess. And it's a Saturday. I have a ton of small stuff to do. We don't really go after small stuff anymore just because it's kind of iffy whether you can make money doing it that way or not. But we tend to get some now and then. It kind of goes in spurts. But got a couple of trailers to fix, a dump truck to fix, some stuff to go to powder coat, and we got a bunch of wood to split. So we got to stay warm in the wintertime. We got a little wood burning stove we use here in the shop. So gonna kind of try to, if I have enough battery, go through the day and shoot some different stuff and kind of see just what we do on a daily basis. And Scout's gonna bug the crap out of us, aren't you? So here we go. As you can see, got quite a bit of damage there. It pretty much just ripped the square tubing. No telling what they put on here. They got some, it's pretty much lawnmowers, but they've got some extremely heavy duty ones. Some of these new commercial mowers, man, they're just extremely heavy and got a lot of weight to them. They're built to last, so they kind of exceed the weight limit sometimes. But what we're going to do is just grind all this out as best we can. You can't get to all of it. Grind this here, that piece of angle iron that goes across the top of the ramp, and grind this best we can. Then we'll take it and actually put a clamp on it, and should be able to squeeze it back together and get some weld in there. Kind of weld this mesh back on here, and we should be good to go. All right, so as you can see, we got it cleaned up just a little bit. Might actually hit it again here, but see there, we got it pretty much where it was. Just took a big C-clamp, a strong hand sliding clamp that is actually, but got it back where it was, cut it clean enough. I think I can get some good weld on there. It's just a really hard spot with this in the way to get a grinder in there. You could take a die grinder, or heck, you could even sandblast if you wanted it to, but should be able to pretty much, might have a little time getting weld there. It's kind of got some paint on it still, but anyway, we'll see if we can get it welded up. Alright, so it's all welded up. I'm going to try to weld the back side, but I'll get it all bolted back on first. And I'll put some weld right back there just to help support it, because it's kind of going to be a weak spot now. So we'll get this all bolted back together. You can see there that there's absolutely no weld on the back side of this, so I'll just run a bead right there, and that'll help support it, keep it from ever happening again, and should be good after that. So got that bolt back in. We'll put the spring goes back here. That's your spring assist for lifting and opening and closing this gate, 'cause it's kind of heavy. So get that done, and should wrap this up, put a little bit of black paint on it, and be on to the next project. That wraps up project number one, this trailer repair. And look at that. You know the man's good at growing grass when it grows on his trailer. That's crazy. I have no idea what species of grass it is. Tall fescue, Bermuda, blue something, but it's everywhere. Look at that. Well, man knows how to grow some grass, that's for sure. You have to go check him out. He's on YouTube. If you need some lessons or some products, this guy definitely knows how to grow grass. GCI Turf Services. Go check him out. we're just gonna unhook this here, lock it up, and they'll come pick it up Monday morning. Scout's gonna help us. And the next project, that one, is gonna be interesting because it's a pintle hitch. And yeah, I don't have a pintle hitch. So, hoping that it has enough weight on the tongue to stay on that 2 5/16 ball. We'll see. All right, guys, so the next project number 2, is this new trailer jack. Oh, that thing's heavy. This is a Ram, 5,000 pound support capacity, 3,000 pound lifting capacity trailer jack. And of course, made in China. So, you have a couple different options with trailer jacks. You can get bolt on, weld on, and even some clamp on that basically have a clamping system that clamps around this. This one here has, it is a weld on, and so what it has, there's actually a sleeve here. You have this pin, and you have a sleeve. This actually gets welded on the trailer like that, with the pin orientated a certain way, because the pin has to go up and down, side to side, for you to rotate the jack. So you also have, with the option of different jacks, you have an option of where to mount it. You can see on this one, it had a jack that obviously broke off that was mounted there. The problem is, when you get a jack, they're gonna have a crank handle, and they're gonna be like this, or they'll have one that's mounted on the top that rotates like this. So obviously this one had the crank handle that went this way, not this way, because this jack here won't work because I have no room to crank the handle. So the only problem is, what I like to do is I like to have the jacks in the center, because this is an extremely heavy duty trailer. This is a Kaufman brand. Let me turn that phone off. This is a heavy duty trailer. This is a Kaufman brand. Don't know a lot about them. I've never owned a Kaufman. Heard good and bad, of course, just like anything else. But so the thing is, if you mount it on the side right here, which is what I have to do, you tend to sometimes get a little bit of I guess force and just gravity. It's gonna want to twist the jack a little bit, but I don't really have a choice because I have nowhere to mount it on the inside, because you can't turn the handle, because this has to swivel, you know, and go in this position, the horizontal position, when you're traveling, of course. and you know, there's not enough room to crank this handle inside of here. So the only option that leaves us is, of course, to move this out of the way, grind a spot here, and weld that on just like that. So that's what we're going to do. So let's get started. So that was a pretty quick little job number 2. As you see, we got the little stud welded on there. And then the jack just slides on. So once you have that welded on, then just slide this piece on. That way you can take this on and off if you need to. But in the up position, in the horizontal position, when you're hauling the trailer, of course, it'll go there. You can even get you a little bungee cord or something to wrap around this, so this isn't just dangling down here. Definitely recommend that. But and then, of course, if you want to jack the trailer up, you'll go to the vertical position, slide the pin back in, and then you're ready to crank it up. So this is an extremely good heavy duty jack, so I think it'll be fine. But what I was trying to explain to you is when you get it on the side like this, I try to push it more towards the front so it's closer to the center, because if you put it back here, you have more weight on that side. You're not evenly, whereas if you have it here in the center like it used to be, you know, I explained that earlier, I can't jack it with this one. If you had a overhead jack, you could, but that's not what the customer provided. This is what they brought me, so this is what I'm putting on. But what I do is, instead of putting it back here, I'll slide it more towards the front. That gets me closer to the center of gravity, and keeps it from wanting to tilt that way and actually putting too much pressure on this and end up breaking or bending this. So that's where we put it. I think it'll do just fine there. We'll put just a little bit of black paint on that, keep it from rusting, and that'll be number 2 wrapped up, and on to the next one. What's up, guys? So you've seen 2 small projects so far this Saturday. We had the trailer gate repair, excuse me, gate repair for the landscape trailer, and then the second one was actually a roofing company, and they broke the jack off, got a new one. They brought me the jack and everything, so got it welded on. That was pretty quick. And then right now I've got my trailer backed in here, and we've got all these guardrails we're going to load up. They've got to go to powder coat along with a sign I'm going to show you in just a minute. So got the trailer loaded. Next on the list, we got to get these out of the floor, get some shrink wrap on them. The customer will be here sometime next week to pick these up. These are actually for a DIY customer. They do a little welding themselves, but needed these cutouts for a gate they're building for themselves on a farm. And so we cut out the 2x2 deer pattern. And then up here you have 8-inch letters that's going to go across the top of the arch on the gate. It's going to be a double gate. So we'll get these shrink wrapped up, put them in the office out of the way, and they'll be ready for them when they come next week. Alrighty, so next project number 3 on the list for today is this pretty Carolina blue Kenworth. This thing is actually a 2004 model. It's only got 200,000 miles on it. I believe it has a Cummins engine. Don't quote me on that, but I believe that's correct. And you can see some nice tape here covering the damage. If I can get this off, you'll see exactly what's going on. Condensation has pretty much got in here, and voila, nice big rust hole. So that's just the supports on the sides of this dump bed, and it's pretty common. It gets condensation. You may have some leaking somewhere up top or in the inside, getting some water in there, and it just sets. Most of it's condensation, but so what we'll do is basically just cut it here all the way to here, both sides, and possibly this one I may scrape a little bit just to see how bad that is, and that should be it. I think we've actually done the other side of this truck where we did something. You can see some weld marks here. I think actually we welded something inside. Might have been some wear plates or something. That's been 2 or 3 years ago. There's another spot up here. You can see where they touched up the paint. Unfortunately, there's nothing we can do about that. You know, when you weld, it's gonna burn, it's gonna get hot. And luckily he's got some good matching touch-up paint. So anyway, we'll crank this thing up. It's a little cold, so it might take a second, but see if we can get her started here. See if we can get this bad boy to crank. It's a little cold. Block heater should help out. There we go. Well, that took longer than planned because they were a lot worse than we thought. Just had some surface rust in the hole. Thought we could replace just the box piece, and that definitely wasn't the case. They were rotting all underneath. So we went ahead, rolled on with it, cut out the bottoms. We'll have to sheet this with some 14 or 16 gauge running here. So we'll fill this piece in first, get it welded up and grinded, then we'll come back and fill in the box piece on both of them. I apologize, I got in a hurry and laid this out. I needed 2 pieces, 4 3/4 by 8 1/2. Laid them out and forgot to turn the camera on, but I use this as my guide, as my straight edge, so I don't have to worry. And what I'll do is just cut it just slightly larger than I need. That way I can grind it down. Alrighty, we got the whole bottom piece. As you can see, we got the patches in, and we're gonna weld them up. It's gonna take a little bit of spotting. Got a few little gaps here just where I couldn't cut exactly the straightest, but we'll get it all filled in. So if you hear a spot weld, and that's why I'm not running continuous beads. That, and it's not the thickest. It was kind of, I cut pretty much. I always try to go out as far as the least amount as possible, but I go out far enough to eliminate the rust. So I go back to where I have solid metal. So let's see if we can get this welded up. Well, guys, once again, I messed up. Just forgive me. I forgot to turn my microphone on. I was using two GoPros, had one on a chest mount thing, and I had one on a tripod, and just forgot. So what I'm doing here, you see I've got the flat plates cut. Now I'm using cardboard to make templates to make the side pieces. And I made one. You can see there I marked the line, had it wrong, so I just put an X on it so I knew not to cut there. And basically what I did was just I cut it at the wrong angle, and so it didn't fit, so I went back, cut another one, and that's what I'm doing now. So it's kind of trial and error when you're doing a lot of this stuff. You're using cardboard. The cardboard's not exactly correct, but you can get pretty dang close. So that's what I'm doing here. I'll actually test fit it, make sure it's the same on all of them, so I cut all four pieces the same size, and then we'll I think in a minute I'm actually probably going to end up having to cut another one. This one ended up being wrong angle or something, and like I said, sorry for the inconvenience, but the sound would have been much better when I actually recorded this video a couple weeks ago. But you'll get the point and kind of get the idea of how we do this and what we use to make our pieces here. Yeah, I'm not sure what's going on now, but like I said, sorry for the inconvenience. Just kind of one of those things. Trying to do too many things, trying to record and work at the same time is interesting sometimes. Got a lot going on, and trying to make a video to show people how we do certain things is kind of tough. But really hoping to get some content out, and we'll finally cut here in just a minute. And you all see I use a guide. It just makes it so much easier instead of trying to freehand. You know, sometimes you have to, but if you can use that and cut a straight line, it's a lot easier than trying to cut it, you know, by hand with no guide to hold it against. So that was, I believe, the first piece I cut out, and I think in a minute, I don't know if I'll show it in the video or not, but I ended up having to cut another one just because that one didn't fit like I wanted. I'm over at the truck test fitting that now, and then like I said, I think it ended up just being the wrong angle. It was off, had a little gap, and instead of trying to grind it, I just made another template and kind of started over that. It only takes a few minutes to make that cardboard template. Something we use is, if you get sheets of metal, aluminum and stainless in particular, they usually have cardboard and stuff in between them just to keep them from scratching. That's really good. It's a 4x8 or a 5x10 sheet. Stick it to the side. You can kind of fold it, tri-fold it or something, save it, and works really good for stuff like that. So we'll get finished with this in just a minute. Here it is. We're making another one. As you can see, that's the first one, and the angle was a little off, so we ended up making a second template and just modified that angle a little bit, close that gap up, so it makes it nice and tight when you put it on the truck to fill in those side pieces. So what we're doing here is just cutting the second one. Once we get that done, make sure it fits, then we'll cut the other three. You've got two on each support brace.
But and we still had to grind a little bit, I believe, just on the corner or something of each one. But that's nothing really compared to, you know, if we were having to cut these by hand or had to grind a bunch off. We just had to grind. I think it was like the very tip of it, just to make it fit a little bit better. But um, could have made them work like they were, but just try to make it as tight as you can. Get that gap closed. That way you're not having to fill a gap with weld. You get a nice, good weld all the way around. So we'll cut this other one and get it test fitted, and then we should be good to go from there. What's up, guys? Matt here, and I hope you guys have enjoyed this video. I tried to keep it to a reasonable amount of time, and with that, I kind of had to edit out quite a bit of stuff. But hope you enjoyed it. That was the dump truck we just got done. This here is a sign that I just wanted to show you. We ended up doing a polished finish with just some 60 grit flap wheels, clear coated that, and then we got a black panel that we had powder coated black and bolted to it for the backer, and makes the words and the design show up a lot better. So hope you guys enjoyed this. If you got any questions or you want to see certain things, please comment, email me, message me, whatever. We're getting a lot of those lately, and we really enjoy that, and hope this helps. So subscribe and like. We'll see you on the next one.